Hello, my name is Prashant Chandrasekhar. I'm Vice President and General Manager of our Managed Public Clouds business at Rackspace. I'm here with James Staten, Vice President and Principal Analyst of CIO Research at Forrester. We have a lot of companies that look to a company like Rackspace because of our fairly agnostic view, and we don't really have, we have absolutely an opinion on where we believe workloads of certain types should run, to your point. Which platforms they should run on, whether that's Amazon or Microsoft Azure or Google or Alibaba. But they certainly come to us with a kind of a view of how do I think about this technically, how do I think about this commercially, and you tell us how we should actually architect or kind of actually transform our applications to actually go into the cloud and start leveraging the platform. So a lot of what we're doing at Rackspace is to codify a lot of that, a lot of what we do for customers when they're evaluating multiple providers. And so we've done some work which we'll talk publicly about fairly soon around how we're helping companies truly decide which platform to leverage. And there's everything from a 100-point technical assessment that we've done to a range of different commercial factors that have been taken into account. And then of course there are all these subjective factors that you also have to keep in mind when customers have existing relationships with many of these companies. And so we take a very deliberate approach and try to be almost a Switzerland type company where we want to do the right thing, and we want to make sure that we don't that we actually provide customers with very objective advice that's based on data and based on our best intentions of for their customer experience and customer experience. So it's paid off really well because we've got a lot of companies that come to us for doing almost a sort of a bake-off between various clouds. And we also work with our partners, cloud partners, to actually share this information back to them so they can actually see, analyze information that we actually ran in these tests, et cetera, in these simulations. And they utilize that for their own product development efforts internally. So it's been a really good, I would say, kind of feedback loop, if you will, between the customer on one hand, us in the middle, and then our partners, and so that's been a really great, kind of facilitation that we've provided.
Yeah, and that points out the distinction that comes from a partner like yours that really does invest heavily in multiple clouds, reaching certain levels of certification across all of them, having direct relationships with all of them, rather than being pretty heavily vested in one cloud and minorly vested in the others. We do see that in a lot of the MSPs who clearly are very focused on one particular cloud partner. And for them to be truly neutral, they're going to have to heavily up their investments with those other clouds to have that credibility with enterprises.
When customers take us to the path of multi-cloud, it's our obligation to basically enable that journey for them. So we've taken a very deliberate effort to make sure that customers can log in once at Rackspace, federate to any one of those cloud platforms within the same portal, and also that's a technical experience, and they can get cost management across the clouds, they can get log aggregation across the clouds, monitoring across the clouds, and so on and so forth. Not completely obfuscating the native capability of each of the clouds, because we really believe that it's important to kind of have a loosely coupled kind of experience, but at the same time really shine through, if you will, the power of the underlying platform. So we really allow them to federate into those control panels within each of those to get the full power. But that's on the technical side. But to your point, the human experience is also the same, where we have a multi-cloud, essentially account teams, and we enable customers to talk to people that are the single throat, if you will, to kind of connect with within Rackspace, but they navigate the 1,400 certifications within Rackspace to provide ultimately the right answer for the right for the questions that the customers have. So it's a fairly complex problem to solve, but one that we're constantly investing in and also innovating in to make sure customers have a a truly objective but very seamless experience across these various platforms.
Yeah, and not just 100% neutral, but one where the difference between one service or service type on this cloud versus that cloud, and can help the enterprise understand which one aligns to what they're trying to do. This is clearly something that we ran into a lot when I was at Microsoft, where if you had very, very deep Linux skills, before I joined Microsoft, you were going to be on AWS. And Microsoft started investing heavily in Linux, Java, and non-Microsoft programming languages to really get these other customers to say, no, we actually can deliver those capabilities. But even now, where we have the breadth and the maturity of the leading clouds that are out there, there are still circumstances in which one cloud clearly is better or better aligned to some of the investments and some of the capabilities and services that an enterprise is using more so than the others. And to have a partner who understands that and can make the recommendation, not because they're going to get higher commission if they get their customer to use this cloud, but where it actually aligns to what is the right answer for the enterprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that all those very much, we very much think along those lines to make sure that we're credible in the industry, and we don't really have an agenda. We just want our agenda is to make sure our customers are very successful, and that's essentially our agenda. So, so couldn't agree with you more on that.